Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense jungle, lived an elephant. She was a gentle giant with huge tusks and floppy ears. But despite her size, she felt incredibly lonely. The other animals were afraid of her and kept their distance, which made her even more sad. One day, the elephant was munching on some leaves when she noticed that the sky had become dark and gloomy. She looked up and saw big, dark clouds covering the sun. At first, she didn't think much of it. After all, it was the rainy season and storms were common. But as the day wore on, the rain didn't come. Instead, the clouds just stayed there, making the jungle darker and drearier. That's when the elephant had a strange realization. She thought to herself, "Those clouds, they're following me." At first, she couldn't understand why the clouds would do that. Then, a terrible thought struck her like a bolt from the blue. She was so used to seeing the other animals run away from her that she assumed the clouds were doing the same. She believed that they were scared of her, just like the other animals. And that's why they gathered around her, trying to shield themselves from her. This made the elephant feel even worse. She lowered her head and trumpeted sadly. As the hours passed, the sky grew darker and the elephant felt lonelier and more afraid. She tried to shake off these gloomy feelings, but the bigger the clouds became, the harder it was. Eventually, she started to panic. She ran around the jungle, trumpeting loudly, trying to get rid of the clouds, but they just seemed to follow her everywhere she went. Then she came across a clearing and collapsed to her knees, exhausted and overwhelmed. Just then, she heard a small voice. "Excuse me, excuse me." The elephant looked down and saw a little mouse trying to climb onto a blade of grass. "Can you please help me? I can't reach my home." The elephant hesitated. She wanted to help the mouse, but she was also scared to move. What if the clouds followed her again? She took a deep breath, lifted her trunk, and gently blew the mouse up to the blade of grass. "Thank you," squeaked the mouse. "You're very strong. Maybe you could help someone else who's stuck." The elephant felt a pang of guilt. All this time, she had been so focused on her own problems that she hadn't even noticed the poor mouse. She realized that maybe, just maybe, the clouds weren't following her because they were scared. Maybe they were there for another reason. With newfound determination, the elephant walked over to a nearby stream and saw a family of ducks struggling to get out. Their boat had capsized and they needed help. Without hesitation, the elephant reached out with her trunk and lifted each duck out of the water. The mother duck was so grateful. "You saved us," she cried. "We don't usually ask for help, but we really needed it today. Thank you." As the sun peeked out from behind the clouds, the elephant realized something important. It wasn't the clouds that were following her. It was the sun. The moment she started helping others, the darkness lifted, both in the sky and in her heart. From that day on, the elephant was no longer afraid of the dark clouds. She knew that as long as she had the sun's love and the strength to help those in need, she would never be truly alone. And so, children, remember that when life's clouds gather and your heart feels heavy, the brightest ray of sunshine often comes from helping someone else in need. If you liked the story, give me a thumbs up, share the link with your friends, and subscribe for more stories.